Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope you all doing good. I really do. Uh, it's just time to check in, you guys. Yeah. And Brother Bay is checking in with some information that I like to share. That's for sure. Uh, this story is just to give you a little bit of facts about. I've heard so much about our different tribes. I've been doing research on our tribes and over there in America. And so I chose to do research on Black Seminoles, the Black Seminoles. Yeah, so I'm going to share some information with you about the Black Seminoles. In my opinion, the Black Seminole Indians, they're not what you probably think they are. In my honest opinion, it turned out that they were actually agents. Yeah, agents for the United States. I hate to say it. Yeah, Black Seminoles, man, they became agents. Okay, I'll share with you what I know, okay? And maybe you do the research and you'll probably come to the same conclusion. Anyway, Black Seminoles, how they became Black Seminoles is because these brothers and sisters were escaping slavery. Yeah, they were running away from slavery. They refused to be captured as slaves. So they ran away from, let me see, it was Georgia and South Carolina. They ran away, escaping slavery. I don't blame them. And what they did was they ran from Georgia and South Carolina, and they actually went to Florida, right? Because there were parts of Florida that was actually Spanish territory, right? And they got there in this Spanish territory, and the Spanish people welcomed them and covered them, looked out for them, protected them, and everything. But eventually, they continued to relocate and migrate to other parts of Florida. And they came upon this territory that was Seminole territory. And that's where they rested, that's where they stayed. The Seminoles welcomed them. They integrated, including marrying, getting married to each other. The brothers and the sisters were integrating with the Seminoles. And the brothers and the sisters learned the Seminole culture, ways, and traditions, right? Right there in Florida. So what happened was, okay, so they integrated and they learned each other's ways and things like that. And then they end up leaving Florida, and they migrated to Mexico, right? And when they got to Mexico, the Mexican government welcomed them, tremendously welcomed them, right? Looked out for them, fought for, to keep their rights there in Mexico as being free. Yeah, Mexico actually did that. The Mexican government did that. And, even though the United States wanted to come to Mexico after these people, and they wanted to turn parts of Mexico into a slave state. And Mexico was fighting against that. No, you're not going to be able to do that. Yeah, but Mexico actually looked out for these folks. But when they stayed in Florida, this is how they became known as the Black Seminoles, you know, because they integrated, they learned Seminole ways and things like that. So that's how they became the Black Seminoles. Okay, so while they're in Mexico, the United States tried to turn parts of Mexico into a slave state. Okay. Didn't happen. Okay, Mexican government didn't allow it. Okay. So what ended up happening was they came back over to Mexico. The United States came back over to Mexico, and they offered positions for these Black Seminoles. Now they're referred as Black Seminoles, right? And they were known, these brothers and sisters were absolutely known to be, awesome at tracking and, knowing the territory of the United States so well that the United States offered them positions, right? And this is where the Black Seminoles became the Black Seminole Indian Scout, right? Now they took the offer and they're working right there with the United States, tracking down other Indians, and runaway slaves. And they were also working right along with the Buffalo Soldiers. That's what the Buffalo Soldiers did. So, you tell me. Seems to me like they sold themselves out to United States. I mean, I can't think of any other choice of words to say, but that's what they did. They're now working for the United States, tracking down runaway slaves and other, Indians. This is what they did, And like I said, how they became the black, the Black Indian tribe, how they became that is because they actually stayed and learned the ways of the Seminoles. They learned the ways of the Seminoles. So this is how they became the Black Seminole Indians. Yeah. And they integrated, they married and integrated, had babies and everything else, But yeah, so that's the story of the Black Seminole. That's actually their legacy. They were known to be awesome trackers and, knowing the territory of the United States so well. Yeah, okay, United States hired them. And they were trackers for the United States. Yeah, I said that. I hate to say it. It's not a, it's not a pretty picture, but yeah. Well, I forgot to tell you something. There are 4 of these Black Seminole Indian Scouts that have badges of honor by the United States. And they are buried in what they call Black Seminole Indian Scout in Texas. Yeah, they got a cemetery called Black Seminole Indian Scout in Texas. Yeah, so, they got their badges of honor from the United States, and that's where they're buried, right there in Texas. Yeah, just sharing what I know. What happened? So anyway, yeah, Brother Bay checking in, just sharing a little bit of history with you. I like to do that. Yeah, so, some of you may find it pretty interesting to know about the Black Seminoles. Yeah, that's what they did. Okay, until the next time, I'll check in very soon. I got some more to share with you. Okay, see y'all on the next one. Peace.